The sister who was left behind. Pain is a strange thing. Sometimes it screams. Sometimes it whispers. And sometimes it waits quietly for years. Today's story is not about fame. It's not about reality TV drama. And it's definitely not about picking sides. This is a story about a sister who loved deeply, a family that broke quietly, and a woman who carried pain so long it became part of her voice. Her name was Traci Braxton. And before the cameras, before the fights, before the headlines, she was just a sister who wanted to belong. A dream that started to crack long before Braxton Family Values became a hit show. Long before arguments were edited into episodes. The Braxton sisters shared one dream: music. They grew up singing together, laughing together, believing that success would come together. But life doesn't always follow the dream. When the sisters were offered a record deal in the early 1990s, Traci was pregnant. That one moment changed everything. The label didn't want a pregnant woman in the group. Not because Traci lacked talent, not because she wasn't good enough, but because the industry didn't want her body to change. So the group moved forward without her. Tony, Tamer, Twanda, Trina, and Traci stayed behind. The pain that never left. To outsiders, it looked simple. She was pregnant. They had no choice. She should have moved on. But pain doesn't follow logic. For Traci, that moment felt like being cut out of her own family story. She later said it felt like losing a limb. Imagine watching your sisters rise, while knowing you were supposed to be there. Imagine cheering for them, while quietly grieving the life you never got to live. Years passed, but the hurt stayed. And every time, the family reunited for business, that old wound reopened. History repeats itself. Decades later, when the sisters walked out of filming Braxton Family Values over contract disputes, Traci stayed. Once again, she was alone. She described it as déjà vu. One moment they were here. The next moment they were gone. The same feeling. The same silence. Different year. Same pain. Fans didn't understand. Some fans were harsh. Get over it. That was 20 years ago. Stop living in the past. But pain doesn't expire, especially when it comes from family. Traci wasn't stuck in the past. She was stuck in unhealed hurt when family became coworkers. A trip meant to heal. Season 6 of Braxton Family Values. Napa Valley. Wine. Celebrations. Smiles for the camera. But tension walked into the room first. This trip was supposed to celebrate Tamer's birthday and Trina's engagement. Instead, it exposed years of unspoken pain. The cigar incident. During a wine tasting, Traci's husband Kevin handed out cigars. Simple right. Wrong. Tamer immediately shut it down. She didn't want her boyfriend David smoking on camera. She called it ghetto. She worried about his image. To Traci, that wasn't about cigars. It was about disrespect. The intervention, that WNTD. Later, Twanda's boyfriend and Tamer's boyfriend decided to host a sit-down. They wanted to fix the sisters, but Traci said no. She didn't want outsiders involved. She didn't want cameras. She didn't want pressure. And yet, the meeting happened anyway. That's when Traci snapped. She felt ignored, overruled, disrespected again. She called Twanda a snake. And for Traci, that word came from years of betrayal. Kvin's the sisters. Kevin tried to explain. He spoke calmly at first. He said the pain was old, decades old. But Tamer changed the subject. She brought up Kevin's past jail time. She told him to lower his voice. The room got colder. Kevin left to find Trace. The bathroom breakdown. Trace was crying. She told Kevin something heartbreaking. My sisters are my coworkers now. Not family. Coworkers. That's when love officially broke. You make it so hard to love you. When Traci returned to the table, Trina had already left. Another avoidance. As Traci walked away, Tamer said, "Cheers, get your life." That was it. Traci turned around. You make it so hard to love you. Those words weren't anger. They were exhaustion. She lunged. She broke down. She lost control. Because pain finally took the mic. End of part 2. The internet judged. Fans chose sides. But nobody asked the real question. How long had Traci been breaking? Before this moment, betrayal on national TV. Private pain, public humiliation. One of the deepest wounds. Her marriage. Traci's sisters discussed her husband's cheating. On national television. Without asking her. Without warning her. To Traci, that was unforgivable. Some things are TV drama. Some things are personal. Grief on top of grief. As all this happened, Traci was grieving her niece Lauren. She raised her like a daughter. Losing Lauren felt like losing a child. She said she felt pain in her womb. That kind of grief changes you. It isolates you. And her sisters didn't see it. Space was necessary. Traci stepped back. She needed peace. She needed silence. She needed healing. She stopped mixing business with family. She chose herself. Laughter that sounded like mockery. Trina's wedding. A joyful day. But when Traci sang with her father, someone told her her sisters were laughing. Whether true or not. It crushed her. She exploded backstage. You don't love me. Those words didn't come from anger. They came from years of feeling invisible. Album betrayal. When Traci released Crash and Burn, Tamer mocked it publicly. Auto-tune jokes. No support. Her second album received silence. The message was loud. Therapy that made things worse. The sisters tried therapy with Iyanla Vanzant. Instead of healing, it reopened wounds. Contracts. Money. Resentment. When the sisters went on strike, Traci stayed filming. Once again. Alone, the snowflake goodbye. Traci's passing. In 2022, Traci Braxton passed away from esophageal cancer. It was snowing. Her sister said, she loved snow. Now she's a snowflake. Funeral controversy. Her husband planned a service. Some sisters didn't attend. They said it was what Traci wanted. Even in death. Pain followed. The truth about being left behind. Tawanda and Trina later explained. Traci told them to sign without her. The industry was cruel to pregnant women. They always loved her. The narrative was twisted. A message from beyond. A medium told Tamer, I'm sorry. I love you. You're my baby. Tamer cried. Maybe healing came too late. Traci Braxton wasn't weak. She was wounded. She wasn't jealous. She was grieving. And she wasn't a wannabe. She was a sister who loved deeply and hurt quietly. If this story moved you, like the video. If you believe family pain deserves compassion, subscribe. And remember, not every loud person is wrong. Sometimes they're just finally being heard.